In your top story at this hour, more skeletons have tumbled out of the National Treasury's closet in part 4 of the ANN7 expose on Treasury's fall from grace. And while the usually vocal opposition, mainstream media and NGOs have remained mum on the report so far, the Decolonisation Foundation has approached the Public Protector's Office for a probe into the Treasury's internal audit report on the IMFS project. And now ANN7 reporter Lemogang Foke joins us from outside the Public Protector's Office in Pretoria. A very good afternoon to you and thank you so much for your time. What's the update from the Public Protector's Office? Have the Decolonisation Foundation filed its complaint as yet?
Yes, very good afternoon to you, Lesotho, and thank you very much. Interesting developments coming out since the ANN7 expose on National Treasury's mismanagement of funds, and we're seeing the Decolonisation Foundation today lodging a complaint at the Public Protector's Office against that mismanagement of funds. And with me, I have Mr. Mzwanele Mangi of the Decolonisation Foundation, just to talk to us about what happened here today. Mr. Mzwanele, thank you so much for joining us. Just take us through the process of laying that complaint here today and the importance thereof.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. And I really want to thank ANN7 for covering this work. Indeed, as you can see here, this is just a receipt that indeed I have really lodged a complaint following what I saw on the ANN7 TV about what amounts to really maladministration, a lot of irregular expenditure that National Treasury has been involved in. Every rule in the book that could be broken has been broken. One of the very key things that National Treasury is strict upon is the issue of paying suppliers before the job is done. But here you are, they have done this themselves. They've paid the supplier even before the job is done. In other instances, you find a code of about 28 million, and yet National Treasury was happy to pay 39 million. So we want also not only maladministration, but possible corruption to also be investigated, possible fraudulent activities to also be investigated. National Treasury is a very important department in the life of South Africa. This is where all our monies are as a country. We cannot afford to have the credibility of this institution coming into question. The rating agencies are also here in the country, and they need to see that National Treasury is upright. Now, if there are certain individuals within National Treasury that are bringing the National Treasury into disrepute, we want the Public Protector to deal with the matter very decisively and very urgently. And we're also calling on Parliament to ensure that this Office of the Public Protector is properly funded to be able to do its work efficiently. If National Treasury is not a credible institution, it's going to be very difficult for the country rating to be upheld. So as a matter of urgency, the credibility of National Treasury must be restored. The individuals that are bringing the organization and government into disrepute must be dealt with very harshly.
And also something that we've seen, Mr. Mangi, is, how opposition parties and some of the NGOs that have said to be champions of anti-corruption have been mum on the situation. But the Decolonisation organization is the first to speak out against it and also acting on it. What do you think? Do you think that this will serve as a pathway for others to come out and say, or rather speak against this maladministration?
No, look, I don't expect them to do this because they have never been genuine. White monopoly capital mainstream media is not a genuine institution, as it were. The various NGOs that are there, whether it's Corruption Watch, whether it's Save SA, whether it's Section 27, all these institutions, that Helen Suzman Foundation, all of them, they purport to be watchdogs, and yet they are very selective in their approach. It cannot be that we have such a big a scandal, or this is of national proportion, this kind of a scandal, National Treasury, and yet they are nowhere to be found. I think that on its own is corruption within those so-called watchdog structures. So I'm not disappointed. They've just done what they've always done, to always be selective And because they are using these scandals to fight their own political battles, to push their regime change agenda. It's not that they're genuine in any case. So I didn't expect them. So for me, I'm not disappointed because they've done what I expect them to do in terms of covering only those incidents which push their narrative. So for me, I think the foundation, the Decolonisation Foundation, is having zero tolerance on corruption wherever it emanates. I'm also a card-carrying member of the African National Congress. These are my comrades, but I cannot have comrades that are going to put even the ANC into disrepute, because when they do this, it's the name of the African National Congress as well that gets implicated. So I have a duty and a responsibility also as just an ordinary member to say corruption, wherever it comes from, should never be tolerated.
Well, thank you very much. That was Mr. Mzwanele Manyi from the Decolonisation Foundation. And I'd also like to bring in someone from the Public Protector's Office just to tell us their side of the story. I have with me Ms. Cleo Mosana, who's the newly appointed Public Protector spokesperson. Thank you so much for joining us. We've just seen Mr. Manyi with his documents. Just tell us from the Public Protector's side, what is the process involved in moving this case forward?
As the Public Protector's Office, we're going to be assessing the complaint, and we'll see the processes internally, and if there's any information that we need which might be additional, we'll be making contact with Mr. Manyi. And further to that, the Public Protector has also taken an initiative to write to the Minister of Finance to find out what is he doing about it.
And have you had any other organization coming forward and laying similar cases to that of the Decolonisation Foundation?
We've had various complaints that comes through to various organizations, but the issue that we have is that unfortunately the media tends to focus on the issues that are not what the public is wanting to hear. But we will be releasing most of our reports. Recently we had one of the Tshwane College, and where we have been attending to all those issues.
Well, thank you very much. Well, that was the newly appointed spokesperson of the Public Protector, Busisiwe Mkhwebana Lesego, just laying out in terms of how they will be moving the case forward. And I will have to just leave it there for now. Back to you in studio.
All right, thank you very much. And that was our ANN7 reporter, Lemogang Forget, just giving us more details as Decolonisation Foundation has approached the Public Protector's Office for a probe into the Treasury's internal audit report on the IMFS project.